Hello and good afternoon. It's Angela with Angela's Crafty Space. And today we are going to take our Reader's Digest journals where the spines are just coming apart, because this one is from 1959, so it's an oldie. And I think this one was from 1960. Here's what I was able to get off of the spine. The other part of the spine just broke off. So yeah, when they get old like that, especially these ones that are cardboard spines, they tend to just break right off. So save these pieces because you can make really pretty bookmarks for your journals with those. But what we're going to do today is we are going to make a spine so that the inside is not pretty, but the outside is pretty. With the inside we can cover with paper, whatever, we decide we're going to do with our journal. But the outside we want just plain, so that this beautiful design here on both the front and back covers is not covered up. Well, it's not covered up as much as possible anyway, because we do have to put something over this, which I think I'm going to paint it first and see how that comes out, and then I might just put a lace over it so that, it just comes right up to here. So we'll see how that works. But first of all, we've got to get our front and back book covers off of the book block. So what I like to do is stand it up like this and just take my penknife and just go right down where the crease is. And don't cut your front page as much as possible. Just go right down the crease so that you free up that. And then you're going to do the same thing to this side. Just go right down the crease. You can always touch it up a little bit. You're cutting. All right, so there we go. We've got both of our front and back book plates off. We have a little bit left here, but look at how yummy these pages are in this one. They are super yellowed around the outsides, and the inside is like just, yeah, this book definitely had a good time in its life. I think it was read also because the pages aren't stuck together like an unread book. So anyway, that's that one. So now we have our front and back covers. See? So I just want to clean this up a little bit here so that it's straight across. So I'm just going to use my scissors, and you can feel where the paper and the book plate kind of line up. Your scissors really won't let you cut past that, so just get as much of that off as you can. I like to go on the other side too, because you can see it a little bit better on that side. And it's going to be crummy, so if you want to put something down before you start doing this, I just sweep it off into the trash. So here's this one. So we're going to go right down the little crease, cutting all that off. That's just garbage. Now we have our two book plates. They're identical. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which is the front and which is the back, except for the fact that you don't want them to be upside down. So I believe it goes like this. So if we put our spine in, flip it over, it would be like this. Still got some hanging off the edge there, so let me see if I can't get that. There we go. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is put our spine, just checking. I'm going to use my grid on my mat to help me with this. I'm going to line them up straight. I did an 1.5 inch spine, and I already have it pre-cut. I took some thin cardboard and glued a couple together to make a nice spine. And again, it's 1.5 inches. And then you want to just leave a tiny little gap, not much, but you do need a little bit of a gap. I would say like maybe 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to take my tie-back envelope. This is an old envelope. This is one that's been through the mail. It's been dirtied up and everything. And I'm just going to put it down like so. Okay, you can either do it on that side or this side, doesn't matter. It does the same thing either way. So let's go ahead and get that down. Now, I find Fabri-Tac works the best for this. I did use my Collage Podge and my Barely Art Glue on the other one. And on the inside, I got bubbling where it didn't stick. Okay, so I really feel like a good fabric glue or multi-purpose fabric glue or something like that, or make sure you get glue on there very thickly so that you're not missing spots. Okay, so I am just going to put my glue all over this as best I can. And I'm going to go over it quite a few times because I don't want air bubbles. Okay, I think that's good. All right. Let's line our book back up because it did move a little bit. You're going to need another spine piece ready to go with this. I have an extra one here. So let's lay this down. And you're going to need 2 pieces of 4" by whatever height your spine is for your tie back or fabric or whatever you decide to use. You can use fabric for this part. You can use Fabri-Tac's, what's it called? Anyway. It's like that fabric paper stuff. Fabri-Tac's, I think it's called. Fabri-Tac's, something like that. Anyway. But this will work just fine. And then you want to flip it over. Make sure your spine is straight. Okay, now here comes the tricky part. Get your other piece of tie back quickly. And what you're going to do is pop it underneath. Okay, so maybe you just want to glue the spine part and not the book part. Okay, so just glue the spine part first. And then with your glue on the other sides of this, you're going to lay down your Fabri-Tac. Okay, so let's just work with the spine part first. Sorry, guys. This is the first time I'm doing it on camera. And I did this the other day, so I'm not really remembering how I did it. But this is the right way. So this, you want to put your spine down on your tie backs and then go down around it to lay down your other piece. Get this real gluey. And get this real gluey because this is, you're going to be holding your spine together. This tie backs. Okay. Alright, now what we want to do is put this piece down on top of the other piece. Pressing down so you can see your spine. Make like a crease. And I like to use some kind of card or a spreader of some sort for this part. So you can make sure your glue is well spread out. And go up the side of your spine with your card so you can see it. Because now you're going to put your book plates down on it, like so. Right up to the spine. Like that. And we're going to flip it back over and glue it back on. You can figure out a way that works best for you as well doing this process. But I think what would be best is if you just put glue on your sides. Let's just call those the wings of your spine. It's kind of like doing a hidden spine, but not really hidden. And I'll show you where that other piece comes into play in just a second. Just hang on to it. All right, let's get these down. No, like this. Front sides up. Okay, there we go. Smooth it all down with your card, making sure that glue is well pressed down in there. All right, then flip it back over, and this is where you're going to put your other spine piece right in there, like that. And you can move your book plate still if you're using Fabri-Tac, just to get it right up to that spine. Okay, there we go. All right, then this one gets glued on top of the fabric, on top of the Tyvek to cover up the Tyvek part there. So I'm going to move this a little bit out of the way here. And if you don't have white cardboard or chipboard or whatever, you can use black, or you can just use the cardboard color, or you can cover it with paper. You know, whatever you want to do. Covering it with paper is probably the easiest way to cover it up if you don't have, you know, the chipboard that's colored. All right, and that just goes up like that, right up the spine to cover up the Tyvek envelope. Okay, now we just got to let that dry, but now we have our nice spine. See? That's definitely got to dry 24 hours, guys. Don't be like me and start moving it around. So place this off to the side and let that dry. I want to let it dry like this. Okay, flat, if you can. Now we're going to come back to this one, and we're going to do a little painting, I think. I think that would be fun. I mean, like I said, you could always cover this with paper also. But I think I'm going to paint the outside. And I have a couple colors here. This one is pink blush. And then I have light pink. I also have this vintage tea rose, which I think is pretty close. So let me get my little palette here. These are some new colors that I just got. So I need to open the paint up. Wish they all came wrapped in plastic on the caps like this, to be honest with you, because I had one paint that I bought, it exploded in the package. So now I have no idea what color it is, because of course it had paint all over it. And then I think we're going to do a little bit of this warm buff. Oh, this is a new one also. Okay. And then we have some blue, green, and purple, and like a lighter pink. So I think I'm going to do this light pink. Also, in addition to the vintage tea rose color. If I can get this off, my goodness. They really got this plastic wrap on this one. I can't, there we go. Got it. Okay, then we need green. These are all new paints. Okay. Okay, Angela. Should have opened these before you turned the video on. That would have been smart. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's a pretty green. And then let's do this blue, which is tropical blue. And this purple, which is Concord grape. Okay. Now we need a paintbrush, and I'm just using these Dollar Tree Crafter Square paintbrushes because I don't have water in my craft room, so I like to just be able to throw them away after I use them. I know that's wasteful, but I've tried saving them and it just doesn't work. So let me move this down a little bit. I think I should be in screen with everything. Let me just double check. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to start with the warm buff and just go over the spine in that first, just to give it a base coat. You could also do like white gesso or black gesso here, depending on, you know, what color your book pages are. I mean, your book covers. Mine's a pretty neutral color, so I'm just going with, you know, this warm buff. Actually, I'm going to put something down underneath because I'm getting my mat all dirty. All dirty. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab a piece of parchment paper real quick. To put under this. My craft room isn't very big, so it doesn't take long to grab something. Alright, we can get rid of these paints out of the way. Actually, they can hold it down. Okay, here we go. Let's get back in screen here. Alright. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about getting it all over my mat. I like this warm buff color. It's nice. Rule of thumb with paints too that I learned from my hubby is they tend to dry 2 times darker than what they start out with. So just want to get in on the edge here. And the other side. Okay. Now we'll let that dry a little bit. I didn't put it on real thick, so it shouldn't take too long to dry. And then what I'll do is I will kind of wipe my brush off here on the side. You know what? I didn't do the edges here. So I'm going to stand this up and just paint this edge real quick. Okay. And the other edge. Okay. There we go. Now I want to come in with some of this vintage tea rose. While it's still wet and kind of see if I can't mix the colors a little bit. I'm gonna go really light with the vintage tea rose. Almost wish I had a sponge or something to do this with. I'm liking this effect. Okay, I'm liking that. I think I want that to dry all the way. I think I want to add a little more buff along the outside edge here. And here. Still think I need a little more blue, and my blue keeps disappearing. I don't want it real bright. I want it kind of dull. Let's do a little bit of this bright pink. And some purple. Some green. Messed up there, so let's just go back over it with some buff, some purple, some green, oh, some blue. All right, wasn't liking how that was coming out. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this and put some lace over it. So I'm gonna let that dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna flip it over. See how wet that is. It's pretty wet, so we probably should let that dry. Once that dries, I may come back in with maybe a thinner brush to do the lines. Let me just try one more time here. dip the tip of the brush in. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. One second. Just put some purple in there. Some blue at the end like that. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm going to leave it alone now. And then once it dries, and we'll audition some laces and things like that to cover it up. Not sure what I want to do on the inside yet, and that probably won't come to me until I figure out what, you know, digitals or what book paper I'm going to use for that. But that's what we have now for our cover for this one. And let me go see if the other one is dry. Feels pretty dry to me. So let's go ahead and use up some of this paint. And I'm going to go with the green. That's a really bright, okay. It's really bright. I don't like this brush. I like my other brush. So, how is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a few days since I've been able to do a video, and I haven't been real talkative in this one. I apologize. I just want to create, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me. Don't worry about this light green. We're going to add colors to it and darken it up. Using some of that warm buff in there. I also have a darker green over here too. I need like a lime, I'm not a lime green, like a olive green. This warm buff is doing a good job though. let's see what we got here. We got Old Ivy. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Hopefully. This is what we have on here is Ivy. It's unopened, so give me a second to get the plastic off. And I'm just going to drop a few drops on here. There we go. That's real dark, okay. Alright, I think I'm going to leave that one like that. I'm just going to get in the crease a little bit. This is not quite dry all the way yet, and the paper's lifting up. So that's about all we can do with that one at the moment. So I'm going to clean up this mess, and I will be back in another video, and we can finish these covers up and go from there. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.